Now that we got my S14 back home, it's time to start picking away at that list of things that are keeping it from being a real usable street car. Number one on that list is the battery. It sucks, it's for a lawnmower, it's ugly up front. I wanna put it in the back. First things first, I gotta get this thing up in the air, which this car is a nightmare to jack up because it's so low. I don't remember how to jack this car up. I think I start in the front. I think I do the front a little bit, get it on some low stands, and then do the back, because I can't jack the front up all the way because then it buries the exhaust in the ground and I can't get a jack underneath it. This car makes me want to buy like a set of quick jacks or something. I can only grab it from a tow hook kind of on one side, but it's so stiff that it'll lift the whole car. I think I have to put it on wood first too. All right, I'm sweating, but it's up on stands, my big 6 tons. I think that gives us enough room. It's a little bit taller in the rear. These are they're just under there as a safety. If it falls off the stands in the back, that sucks. We're rebuilding the exhaust. If it falls off in the front, we're yanking the motor out. Let me see. This is the positive cable. It's got this like little accessory tag along unit that goes right to this fuse box. And then it takes off down there towards the starter and stuff, which makes sense. And this is the negative junction area. There's a body ground right here. A lot of this can probably stay and I could just do away with this. So what I'm thinking is there's enough room on the starter solenoid stud to put another connector. And I'm wondering if I don't leave all this factory stuff, switch this over to a ring terminal and buy one of those positive like junction blocks, mount it somewhere here nice so all this stuff still gets its 12 volts kind of in this region because nothing will be here now, and then just run a 0 or a 1 gauge hot back to where the battery's going to be. The least amount of disassembly the better. I think that's what I'm going to try. I'm pretty sure the hardest part of this whole project is going to be getting into here. I mean, I showed you guys the Dynamat, right? Probably want to put the battery like here. We're going in. What is all this? Is this like evap charcoal canister? This region seems promising. This is the spare tire too. Like I could put a hole in this. That looks like a grommet. Ooh, this might be the move coming through there, because then I could shoot frame rail. I mean, it gets a little bit tricky around the axle, but like what are you gonna do? Here's that giant hole. Here's the plug, which I saved and I can use as a grommet. I also think I have something that might fit, but I peeled tar back and I think I could run, that's big enough for both, right? And I could, nice little battery tray over here. Here's the thing. I have enough black. I don't know if I have enough red. I wouldn't be opposed to using black as the positive and putting a piece of red heat shrink on it. I mean, I'll know. And it's also going to be pretty clear the short one is the ground. But I do have some red, so let me stretch it and see what we got. We'll shoot through that hole, we'll just kind of tape it there. So this is all of the red that I have, and we'll see if it makes it to the starter or not. We do not have enough red to do what we need to do, but I believe, yeah, we have enough black. I had an 1 3/4 grommet, which fit that hole perfectly. And then I'm gonna keep this, and we might end up knocking the center out of it and using it kind of like a plug. I got the free end taped. I'm gonna start feeding this through and picking my way up towards the starter. So I have this wire ran all the way up to the starter stud, connected, tucked out of the way, all good there. So what's gonna happen back here is the battery's gonna go here, but before we do that, we're going to install this, which is a 200 amp resettable circuit breaker. We're gonna mount it somewhere in here. The black will go to one end and we have enough red to come out of it and go to the battery. So the battery cables will still be red and black. Okay, so up here, the plan is really, really simple. This is the OE positive battery cable. These two plugs go to this connector, which I have loose right now. I'm actually gonna take this off. What we're gonna do, this is still connected to the starter. It still goes the same way it always went. I've really changed nothing about the power distribution except for where the battery is so far. Continuing with that theme, we're gonna use one of these up here. This is just an insulated stud. So what I'm gonna do is find a handy place to mount it. It's probably gonna be in there somewhere. Cut this ring off, or cut this battery terminal off, put a ring on it. That'll go here. All of a sudden, that's our hot 12 junction. Then I'm gonna probably use this same thing for the two 12 volt sources that go to this fuse box here. That way I'm not getting into the fuse box, I'm not cutting anything weird, I'm not splicing it. And truly, you could put it back if you wanted to. Then, this is the negative. I'm gonna cut this off. This will go direct to like a chassis ground, and we'll put a chassis ground back in the back when we do, when we get our battery too. I think we're gonna come around like this And this will be our post here. So we'll put the lock washer on and then the big 3/8 and we'll suck this down. All right, that's what it's gonna look like. And then I think over here in my toolbox, I've got the perfect finishing touch. Boom. That's just the cap off a new battery that I saved for whatever reason. Never used one until now, but look how good it looks. So this mount, I want to live somewhere in here. Might need to do a little trimming. These two studs come up. I don't know what they hold in. Let's make a little space. All right, this should fit better now. Yeah, we got that installed. So this is our brand new $314 battery. Hurts me to say that, but it's gonna fit pretty good. Now how this works is these tubes slide over and then this hold down goes like that. Boom. That's what it's gonna look like. And then we'll mount our circuit breaker and we're gonna pull, I think, off the side posts just to keep everything clean and nice. We got that mounted here. Now all that's left to do is to go positive to positive here and ground out that same hole to somewhere on the frame. The nice part about this is I know there's a lot of black and it's confusing, but for the main battery cables, we're gonna have black and red. So it shouldn't be too bad, just in case somebody else has to work on this thing. This is the complete setup here. Circuit breaker currently open, brand new red top. Obviously bolts that are too long that'll change, but for right now I got them jam nutted. So right now the battery is isolated. It's hot to here. When I throw this switch, we should have battery voltage here, obviously. We're gonna double check at the front and make sure it's getting all the way there. And then when we fire it, we're gonna come back here and make sure it's charging and just make sure all the voltages match and we don't have a crazy amount of drop. Crossed here, 12.7. So now, if I close this and we come up to the front, hopefully nothing is smoking. Pull this and go positive to the ground up here. Well, that's not good. Why am I not getting 12.7? Hold on. Don't be alarmed, I figured it out. Bad crimp on this unit here. All right, I believe that has been repaired. We're looking for voltage here. Yeah, 12.7. Okay, no voltage drop between here and the battery, which is what we want. Turns over way better. Okay, now back here we should have 14 or whatever if we are charging. Which we are, 14.3738. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. The ECU has a battery voltage monitor in it as well. That's one more thing we'll check and make sure that it's seeing the same voltage that we're seeing in the back and the front. If that's all good, we're all good. We can verify a couple things and then move on to the fun stuff, which is trying to put a street tune in this thing. All right, so you can see right here on the screen, that's our battery voltage. Okay, 12.06. I just checked. It's about half a volt different. The most important thing to me is I'm gonna go ahead and fire this thing up, and that should jump up to 13.5, 14. You can see it did that. Now we're 13.7, 13.8. It's charging. This is our current air-fuel ratio that it's reading from the AEM wideband in there. And then up here is what part of the table it's currently in. Right now, engine speed is like 1300 RPM, which is a bunch. You can also get engine temperature, intake air temp, the TPS, which looks like we need to calibrate it. But basically all of your stuff, all of your tune is in here and it's live. Now, if I was to go blip the throttle, you would see this move, watch. So this axis, which is the Y, is manifold gauge pressure, MGP, and PSI. And then across the top is engine speed. So as you rev it up, it's gonna move to the right, and then as it starts to build boost, it's actually gonna move down, which I might flip that because it makes more sense in my head the other way. But you can see it
start to oscillate, and you can watch the AFR go really, really lean, and then back to rich, and then lean, and back to rich. That's because it's jumping around this fuel table. Okay, the fans just came on, and you can see this input here says engine fan 1 active. Okay, well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode of TYGR's Garage. Our electrical problems are sorted as far as I'm concerned. Next thing up is to verify a couple parameters and see if we can't get some sort of street tune in this thing. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on TYGR's Garage.